Hi everyone, I wanted to come in live on YouTube and basically share about what happens to a soul when there is a sudden death. Okay, this is a question that has been asked to me several times, okay, through clients and otherwise, and I've been wanting to share this with you. And if this is your first time joining me in my live, welcome. My name is Diana Farouk. I'm a psychic medium, I'm a channeler, and I wanted to explain a bit about sudden death. Okay, so for this is for those people that experience some kind of a tragic death or an unexpected death. Okay, no matter what their age is, it's like what happens to the soul when they experience this, like an accident or something like that. So basically, when we when anyone experiences this, the spirit, okay, the body, basically the spirit leaves the body immediately. So most of the time, on a conscious awareness level, the person doesn't even know that they are being, they are in this accident or what happened. The next thing they know that their spirit is out of the body, literally out of the body. So a lot of times, when we see these tragic events, and we think the person is suffering, like if that is part of the soul's contract to suffer, they will suffer. But most of the times, from my understanding, the soul leaves the body in when they are in, let's say, in an accident. Okay, and the soul is out, but depending on the accident, they are still connected to the silver cord. We all have a silver cord. It's like an umbilical cord, okay, that connects our spirit body to our physical body, to our physical essence. Okay, and when that silver thread breaks, that is when the spirit actually transitions on the other side. So a lot of times when, let's say someone is in coma, they're not conscious, they're still connected to their physical body, to their physical essence by that silver cord till that silver cord is severed. Okay, so a lot of times, when I've connected it to a few souls who were in coma, what I find is they are very much aware that, if the doctors are treating them or if they're in the emergency, they're very much aware that this is happening to their physical bodies. Okay. Sometimes these souls will go on the other side. They will immediately meet up with their guides and their loved ones. And in the case of a sudden death, they are in shock. They are literally in shock. It's almost like they were in their physical, day-to-day activity, and all of a sudden they're on the other side and they're like, what is this? Where am I? They get confused, okay, about this reality. And what I also find is, when in case like this, because they're leaving their families behind, they're leaving their loved ones behind, it's a shock to the soul. It's a shock to the soul. And a lot of times they're also kind of their spirit guides are there and their loved ones are there, and they're discussing that I don't want to be here, I want to get back in the body. Okay, I want to get back in my physical life, I want to get back to my life. And then they realize that they've had an accident, or they're in a situation where they cannot, or the body is not in a state that the soul can get back in the body, if there's a very tragic accident or something like that. So on the other side, because they're still in a shock, and they're also kind of petitioning on the other side to send them back, but they realize that there is no, it's almost like this portal, our bodies are like our home for our souls, right? And if our body is destroyed, then the soul cannot come back in the body. So basically, once they have this realization that there is no way to get in the body, and also they're comforted by their spirit guides, by their loved ones, and they are actually on the other side, they're sent into something which I call it as therapy, because that's how I see it. It's almost like a cocoon of light, a cocoon of like a healing space where from what spirit has showed me, it's like light of different colored lights, and it's like any imbalances, any shocks, anything that they've encountered during the time of the accident, it's like they're healed and they feel much calmer every time they come out. So if if a medium is contacting them, or if their loved ones are, so they are kind of in and out, but they're still in that therapy. Now, once the realization has set that they can no longer go back, and their physical life is over, and this is they have transitioned to the other side, they're still very much concerned for their family members. So what I find is that they will be in and out, and they will be around their loved ones to console them, to comfort them, to tell them that they are around, and they feel their pain as well. Okay, and a lot of times when I've channeled, I find that when our loved ones who are still on earth, they're crying, they're grieving the loss, your loved one on the other side is trying to console you, and even in some ways take your pain from you. Okay, they're trying to comfort you, they're trying to console you. It is very difficult for them, and they want you to kind of understand. And you will notice that there may be weird signs, like especially if you're a person who does not believe in signs, or are not open to it. You may find that there are pennies, you switch on the radio, and certain songs, it's like the lyrics are speaking to you, and they are, because see, this the other dimension is here, it's not out there somewhere. So they are basically trying their best, but they're not in a physical form. Okay, so they cannot communicate the same way as you and I, and we can communicate. It's not the same. It's all telepathic, and it's all energetic, and they can another thing I notice is because they're very good with electrical things, they will kind of flicker the lights or do something like that, okay, to kind of get your attention. But just know that when there is a sudden death, as shocking it is for the people that are left behind, the soul on the other side is also very much shocked. And a lot of times I do find that when I've channeled them, they're literally very upset. They are even I wouldn't say fighting, but almost like putting their case forward to the guides that this is not fair. But they go through something called a life review, where their life flashes in front of them, and their awareness and their consciousness grows on the other side. So they understand the meaning of this life, the purpose of this life. They start, in their consciousness, they also remember their past lives, the purpose of this lifetime and other lifetimes, and it's like everything makes sense. And time is different on earth, and time is different in other dimensions. Okay, so what seems like 20 years is no time for them. So they know that their loved ones will be joining them in no time. Okay, so time is measured very differently on earth and on the other side, but they're always sending signs, and they're always sending love. But I felt that this video was important. I don't want to make this a very long video, but at the same time convey this message that just like the people who are living and they're in shock that their loved one has passed, it's the same. Now I had experienced a near-death experience when I was 17, and when I look back, I think there was a purpose to that for me to experience this, because obviously at that time I wasn't doing this, and for me to have experienced a near-death experience at the age of 17, and to this day I do remember I was crossing the road with my friends, with my college friends at that time, and a motorbike came racing. And back home where we live, there people are just crossing while the traffic is moving. Anyways, that's another story for another time. But a motorbike literally ran into me, and I don't even remember. I have no recollection of when I was hit. I have no recollection of from where that motorbike came. I have none of that memory. I literally fell head back on the road, like my head hit the road and I just fell back. I have no memory of that, but all I remember was I entered into this bright, brilliant, almost like blindingly bright light, okay, that would be impossible to actually look at. It's like just being in the sun, right? And but the light wasn't harsh. It's almost like I knew that I was in that bright light, but I could still see, and there was so much love, there was so much light, there was so much compassion. I have never felt that level of love in my life, and I don't think there is anything that even comes close to that vibration, that even comes close to that energy. And I do believe that is the God source essence. And I experienced that, and then I also remember coming back in my body, okay, and I think I was pushed by my guides, because the next thing I knew, because see, the thing is, and now I understand this better, that when I was in this bright light, had I transitioned, that means my silver cord would be severed, and I would have then moved on to the other side, and after that would have been unable to come back. But I was pushed by my guides to get back in my body, and in order to get back in my body, when I was pushed, it's like I went through a dark tunnel, okay? It's if I were to give an example of how that feels, in those water rides, when we have those, there is a ride which is like you have to go through a dark tunnel, and it's winding, and you don't know when you're going to come out on the other side. That ride always reminds me of what I experienced. It's pitch black, it's dark, it's scary, and your soul is moving at such a fast pace, and you can't even control it. And the next thing you know, you're like thump in your body. And I remember when I entered my body, all the aches, all the pain, everything came back. And like I said, I didn't even have the conscious memory of what hit where, what, nothing. The next thing I knew, that everything, especially my head, was like, thank God I didn't have like a major injury, except one of my pupils to this day is stuck because of this. It doesn't expand and contract like a normal pupil, and it is actually a miracle that I can see, because whenever I go to the the eye doctor, they always say the same thing, that it's stuck, and it's because of that accident. But anyways, the thing is that it was not my soul's timing at that time, and that's why I came back. But everyone's we plan our soul's exit. We plan our soul's exit, okay? The timing of our death, how we're gonna die, it's part of our soul contract. And most of the times our spirit guides are with us, our loved ones are with us, and they are there to comfort us, they are there to greet us. We're never alone, we are never abandoned, okay? Even if it happens somewhere where nobody's around, but still they will be there, okay? So if you've lost a loved one because of sudden death, know that they are they are with you. They're not somewhere far away. They're with you, comforting you, you know, trying to give you peace, trying to give you closure. And I know it's very difficult, you know, especially if you lost a loved one in a tragic way. And if you're watching and that's what you're going through right now, I'm really sorry. And I know it's not easy, but just have this comfort in your heart that they're not somewhere far away. And you know, whenever I see cardinals outside, and especially at this time of the year, fall season, I always fall, winter, I see a lot of cardinals here. And that's my sign that spirit is always there. And I hope this reading helps you, because spirit will keep sending you signs, okay? So pay attention to that. I want to keep this video short. I'll be back again with another live. Thank you so much, as always, for being part of this community, and I will see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.